Okay, beautiful ones. Hi, everyone. Okay, I'm just gonna give this a moment to settle in and also make sure I am also up and speaking and streaming also on Instagram. Oh, I love this. There is this beautiful snow filter. Okay, let me know if you're here. Say hello. And I'll get started in a bit. All right. Okay, beautiful ones. Must be late for some of you. I'm in this time zone where it's just literally sandwiched in between so many different time zones, and it's just interesting trying to adjust to the time. But I hope that you see this, whether you're on a replay. If you're on a replay, hashtag replay. And I would just love to say hello to you. Okay. All right, beautiful ones. Okay. All right, so today is an interesting one. I really wanted to come on here and say hello, and I really wanted to just check in and see how you're doing as we move into the new year. And just kind of give you a little update on what's going on in this world and in my world and in the vortex and what's going on. And I'm just so full of gratitude. I'm still feeling the energy flow through me and pulsate through me, because this morning here at my time, it was in her evening, but I just had this divine client of mine. I held space for her in her beautiful retreat. You get 2 retreats with me when you sign up for and pay in full. So it's been a divine journey. Hi, welcome everyone. Hello, goddess, welcome. So whether you're watching on Instagram you get to watch this live, and the replay will be in the Siren Goddess Collective. So if you're in the collective, that's great. You get to watch the replays over and over again. That's where you access all my free resources these days. And I'm just gonna get into it because today is an interesting day. As I was saying, I just finished a beautiful retreat online with my client, and I'm just feeling all the energy, feeling all the downloads come through. And, I really feel the need or that desire and the inspiration to come on here today to speak a little bit more into what I'm feeling. And I want to share that with you. So today I titled this live session, What is Authenticity? And I think it needs to be said, because I think a lot of that has been and is being, thrown around. Ultimately, why do we want to be authentic is a big question. And also, I tend to get this question quite a lot, which is, how do you know that you're authentic? How do you know that it's a misalignment, and when is the time to really give up? Right? When is the time to say, this is really not for me and I'm moving on? Because so oftentimes, and too often, I think, especially in the time that we live in today, we tend to mistake that percolating feeling, the butterflies in our stomach, to be fear. And we tend to mistake that sense of egotistical fear as a misalignment. And then we tend to think that, oh, that's not authentic to me and it's a misalignment, and now I'm just going to give up. And what ends up happening often is that a lot of people just kind of give up on their dreams and their desires and their purpose, their life purpose. And they sit on many gold mines, and they never really realize anything in their lives. What happens is that oftentimes these are also women who come to me, and they feel like they've done everything, they've tried everything, and it feels like they are just back at square one, and they don't know, they're disconnected. They've learned all the tricks of defending and protecting and all the coping mechanisms, the numbing mechanisms, and it's come to a point where they're so disconnected. They're so disconnected from their body. They're so disconnected from their true feelings. And I can totally understand that because I've been there, many years of eating disorders that I had used to manipulate my feelings and disconnect myself from my body. And what I realized and I've deeply learned and have become such a big purpose of mine today is that when we understand that the body is a communicator of the soul, and we allow the soul to show us what we need to know in the moment through the body, we need to hear that. And the reason why so many of us are not hearing it, not hearing the instincts, the intuition, and the wisdom that's rising through us is because the mind is not on board. The mind has its own agenda. The mind is all the way out here floating somewhere and defending and fighting and arguing for the smallness of our lives and all of these things. And what's truly happening is that what we need to do is we have to integrate the mind. It has to be three things. The well-oiled machine needs to work in this way. And so how do we do that? Firstly, like I said to my client today, and I want to share that with you. It was a divine retreat we had together, and so much went down. We had so many activations. We had so many beautiful moments in the ceremony. But one thing I want to share with you is that exactly what I said to her, there are infinite possibilities out there. 2 days ago, on the 2nd of January, probably a couple of days ago now. It feels like 2 days ago, but crazy how time flies. But I definitely felt it in the ceremony that he even spoke to me and said, you get to decide which timeline you want to be on. And it was an immense moment because I knew it opened up a new doorway and a new portal for me to walk through, and I'm walking through it now, and in time I'll be able to share. But right now, that's the message, and I want to share that because yes, we may intellectually understand that we have infinite possibilities. The universe serves that up for us. But what is authentic to us? When we say we have infinite possibilities, yes, there are infinite possibilities, but what is true to us? What is authentic to us? Because even if there are infinite possibilities and we want to be on a greater timeline, we want to be in that big space of the highest self, if it doesn't feel authentic right now, you're not going to be able to embody that. And let me explain. A lot of times we look at someone, for example, on social media, and we're like, oh my gosh, she's so enlightened. She's living the abundant lifestyle. I want that. And all of those things, the relationship that she has, I want that, right? But if we're not willing to do the work, if we're not willing to look at the feeling that's coming up for us when we see this, all the feeling that doesn't feel very good for us, like the lack, the scarcity, the fear of like, ooh, what if I'll never find that love? Or, ooh, what if I'll never live this life? If we don't see them, like bring them out to look at, you would not access the authentic self. And that possibility is there. It is here. That thread is waiting for you to meet. But you've got to meet and be a match for that vibration for you to live and embody that. And how we do that is we gotta allow ourselves to become lighter. And what that means is we have to surrender the heavier stuff. We have to transmute them, and we have to alchemize them. We're not going to numb them. We're not going to overlook them or push them aside or say that they're so yucky, they're not meant to live here. They are you. That's the thing. It's part of your authenticity. That is you too. And so what do we do? How can we become authentic? And why do we have to become authentic? It's often the question. Well, because the more authentic you are, the more healing happens. That's why I say over and over again to my clients from day one when they work with me is that healing is a byproduct of what you do here. Healing is a byproduct of embodying your vortex of stillness. Healing is a byproduct of you living on purpose. Healing is a byproduct of you learning to come into ceremony. Whatever reason whatever reason drew you into my world. Oftentimes, I hear that a lot. It's like, I want to heal myself. That healing shouldn't ever feel like something you need to fix, because you are whole. You're absolutely whole and complete. It's a remembrance. You don't have to be fixed. And whenever you think like, oh, I need to fix something, it's the mind that's talking. It's the high functioning, analytical, logical, overthinking mind. So we gotta unattach ourselves from that and understand and be able to allow our authentic self to come through in the moment now. And yes, I know that the women who come into my world, who want to work with me, who are my clients, and those who are in the collective watching me, observing what I do and reading my work, I know you too want to be able to access and embody your highest self. Why? Because that is your authentic self. So why the hell not? It's you. Every bit of you that hasn't embodied the authentic self is just another part of you that needs to be peeled away, to peel back. And so, no, you don't need to be healed, but you do need to embody more and more and more of who you really are. And inside my vortex, we talk a lot about that. It's so much more than this 3D life that we live. And how do we bring the 4D, the 5D, the 6D, whatever D, into the 3D is what we do, right? That's what we do in my vortex. That's the work here, and it is the work for everyone, should they accept that, right? Because again, it could not be their timeline yet right now to do this work, and that's okay. That's their authentic self now. So I just want to share this because it's so important for us to understand, yes, infinite possibilities happen in the world. And I think the one thing that's actually coming up for me, I'm just going to share. If you've seen, something in pop culture that I want to relate to so that you can understand what I'm saying here, if it still feels a little bit like, oh, really out there. Have you ever seen Doctor Strange? And it's Doctor Strange with the one with the Scarlet Witch. I thought that movie was really interesting because I'm a big fan of Doctor Strange movies, because I feel like it really speaks a lot about the kind of vortex that we are in. And to a certain extent, I remember when I was watching the movie, I felt a lot of energetic imprints in the movie, and I could feel that there were a lot of things in there that was trying to program the mind. And it's really interesting. If you have watched it, let me know. And if you haven't, watch it and kind of sense that and become aware of that. It's trying to imprint a lot of things in the psyche, in terms of sound, in terms of visuals and things like that. I mean, movies do that all the time, but in this one, it was very much a very spiritual attunement. And I don't want to necessarily say it's a bad thing, but become aware of it. Become aware of how these things can start to brainwash us. And anyway, I thought it was to draw parallels through that, because the Scarlet Witch, spoiler alert, was trying to choose the timelines, the different universes in the multiverse, whichever one she wanted to go into. And she was willing to destroy the person who was in that multiverse to take over her space, to take over her place. And we don't want that. We don't want that, right? and we want to be present here. This is the dimension that our soul chose to be in. How can we live the fullest here now is the work we're doing. So you hear a lot about people saying things like you've got to accept where you are. I want to take it one step further and say it's about allowing what needs to come through. It's so important to understand that if this moment right now you can't perceive anything more than what you can see now, that's okay too. And the quicker you embrace this version of you, the quicker you'll be able to vibrate higher. And going back to what I was saying, it requires us to surrender the heavier energy, to transmute it, right? To alchemize the heavier energies, which is like embarrassment, shame, fear, anger, fear of love, judgment, fear of enjoying ourselves even. Yeah. So these are all the subconscious dissonance we want to learn how to work with. And so I'm so excited. I'm really excited to bring this even more clarity and harmony into this space that I'm working in. I want to let you know that everything I share is absolutely something I've been through. I've alchemized it myself. And what does that even mean? Does it mean that it never happens again? Not really. It still happens. My heart gets broken. I get disappointed. I feel shame. I feel anger. I do. But I come back quicker every time because I've learned to really learn what's going on here instead of reacting from what I felt at that moment. The emotions, they are here to show us what needs to be up-leveled. So, my love, one thing I always share is that yes, authentic power is so important. And when you have circumstantial power, meaning you enhance your environment to support you to harness and enhance your authentic power, it makes things so much easier. And this is why I say mentorship is indispensable. That is why I love being in a space where I get to share my ideas, I get to break apart, I get to shed tears, and then I share crazy ideas and be told, yes, go do it anyway, instead of a place where I am being given like a, perfunctory strategy, the kind that you get like everyone gets the same thing kind of thing. I don't really see that for me anymore, and I feel like the way forward for all of these beautiful multi-dimensional feminine leaders like you need this. And that is where I'm going to share with you that if you haven't already, please give yourself a huge yes to rise. Huge yes to allow in your magnificence. Huge yes to do things that you're most afraid of doing. And it gets easier when you are supported in a beautiful space. And this is why in January I am launching the 5-day mastermind, All We Can't See. Because when we merge the invisible and the visible worlds, we start to understand that we absolutely can live through the prism of a cosmic body in this dimension. And we are here to bring that dimension in to this dimension, this 3D that we call it, right? So I'm so excited. I did announce that earlier on this year, so if you have missed it, don't worry, the doors are still open, you can still join us, and we start on the 11th of January. It's a 5-day mastermind. A lot of women are already in there. It's a beautiful group of souls, and the price is at £1,111 right now. You get one-to-one time with me as well, so It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be amazing. It's so much about bioenergetics, how to transmute the alchemical work that we do, the wisdom that rises out of your body, and also just how to be a leader, how to communicate as a leader. You know, it's really such a potent, inspiring space that we're in, and I can't wait to start, and I'm just so excited. I want you to have this as well. You know, I really just want you to know you don't take yourself out. Don't take yourself out of the space by mistaking this sense of percolation as fear or as misalignment. Because, like I said at the beginning of this live, you know, when we look on social media, when we look at all these things other people are doing, and we're not centered, it's so easy for us to think that we're misaligned or we're a failure, and I'm gonna give up on everything I'm doing now. And then you burn everything down, and you realize that, oh my gosh, it was just this moment of fear that I didn't want to expand, instead of actually this is really not aligned with me. So you want to be able to make a difference between these two worlds as well, because so many people give up when they're this close to unveiling that magic of the compounding effect of all their efforts, of all their alignments. Yeah, that is why, again, I truly believe this. I keep saying it again and again. I know it's like a broken record. When you're in a mentorship, that's when you're not going to be, you know, like giving up, because you're held, you're guided, and I'm here for this because I've been there thousands of times. I've been there. I grew immensely and rapidly, not because like, you know, I was like, oh, I run here and I run there, I run here and I run there, I'm gonna heal myself. No, I grew rapidly because I was devoted to understanding why these things happen to us. And my come from wasn't healing, and I knew that, and I want that to be shared with everyone, every woman who's been told she needs to be fixed, who's been told she's not enough, who's been told that she's not good enough to serve, right? You're here for great things. You're here for immense service. Don't be taken out. Don't let your past take you out. Let your past build your future self. The future self who is a leader, who leads with love. The future self who is a woman who lives on purpose in her authentic power. So I send you so much love. Come in, join the mastermind. You are absolutely going to be held in such a beautiful space. I can't wait to share my magic with you. Sending you so much love. And I'll see you next time. Have a beautiful weekend as well. Big kisses. Bye.